Okay, welcome to Two Each Way. Phone's on, Hame?
Oh, Sophie's ringing me, but it's on silent. Does that count?
No, wives don't count because you've got an unfair advantage. Welcome
Hang
to-
on.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I got
if
two.
you're fishing, there's lots of fish nibbling and you've got a couple of X's. Could be anything.
Welcome to Two Each Way. I'm Ross Stevenson. He's Hamish McLachlan. Whatever your two is, enjoy. Make sure you follow Two Each Way and don't miss an episode, and email us anytime with a story or question. We love the emails, folks. Two Each Way at tappedmedia.com.au. Tapped spelled T-A-P-T. And Instagram, just search Two Each Way. This podcast is so bad it doesn't have a sponsor. So, Two Each Way is brought to you by.
That's not even in jest. That's just a fact.
Just
Bad,
a fact.
No sponsor.
Geneva Airlines. Got an alter ego you tell your family and friends about to cover how many races you've actually bet on? Well, now they want to meet him. Fly Jerry from Geneva to Melbourne direct with Geneva Airlines. That's been done before. Oscar Wilde's famous play, The Importance of Being Earnest. He invented a friend called Bunbury, and whenever he wanted to nick off, he pretended that he had to go up to London to see Bunbury. So our Bunbury is Geneva Jerry. Geneva Airlines, where even economy is first class. And Two Each Way, brought to you by Hope. Got a kid that won't attend school, horses that don't win, and a tendency to get grumpy? Hang on, that's me. Remember, there's always hope. Imagine having a podcast sponsored by Hope. How good is that, eh? It's a bit like, I'll tell you what the definition of hope is. There's a bloke who's a newspaper editor comes to him and says, I've got a job for you. Yeah, what's that? I want you to tip in the form guide section of the newspapers today. I want you to tip what you think's going to win. The bloke goes to the boss at the end of the day. He goes, I didn't tip a single winner. What do you want me to do tomorrow? Oh, no, I want you to do it again. In fact, I want you to do it for the rest of your life. Get up every morning, tip losers, because, like Two Each Way, it's brought to you by Hope. There are three ways to describe your weekend on the punt. Did fortune abandon you? Did you have a very good day, or did you at least stand up? Let me kick off. On the weekend, Chris Waller, you and I were involved in a little messaging with him over the weekend, insisting that his night probably would involve Penfolds and cigars. Chris Waller brought up his 200th Group 1 win with Birdman last Saturday in the Doomben Cup.
Pride of Jenny coming to the turn, 13 lengths in front. She is all out though. They're starting to chase and chase quickly. She's a hustler, half yours. Birdman to the outside. Then Asterisk Kovalika and Vauban turn in last. Down below the 300 metres. Pride of Jenny on tired legs. The margin abbreviator is Birdman. Slowly but surely coming after Pride of Jenny. Pride of Jenny in front, not for long. There goes Birdman. McDonald riding for Waller. Waller's 200th Group 1 winner. And Birdman, a brilliant performance. Birdman won the Newman Cup.
Did he describe the caller as Birdman as the margin abbreviator? I think he did. But the margin abbreviator is Birdman. Well done, Christopher. So he's the only people who've trained more Group 1s are TJ Smith, Tommy Smith and Bart Cummings. It says here they're both on 246. Yeah. That's extraordinary.
Not true. I went looking for that this morning. It's not true.
Oh, what is the figure?
Big Beard's just writing numbers down. He said, what's your number? His is 246. It was completely inaccurate. But I'm not happy. I'm not going to throw him under a bus, but
you just did.
Be better.
You have
282 for TJ and 246 for Bart, 200 for Chris.
Right, so he's got to get 83 more.
He'll get 83 more. I went looking for the number of Group 1s, and given racing is a cluster, there's about 19 different results because they classify races differently. And, Big Bid's 246 apiece may as well just stand as fact, but it's not.
Let's go.
Just on Pride of Jenny. Oh, you haven't finished?
I haven't finished, but no, you go with Pride of Jenny.
No, you go. You're going well.
We love Chris's reaction. You've done this many times, of course, on 7. You have spoken to Ding, 5 for me. Chris's reaction post-race is straight out of the Chris Waller playbook.
Just quickly, did you have an opportunity to spend any time with TJ and how much time with Bart as well?
With Bart a little bit. Yeah.
Sorry, mate. I'm not trying to torture you, I promise.
With Tommy Smith, I was embarrassed to be around him. He used to be in awe of him. And Bart, yeah, I got a good relationship with him. And he was an amazing man.
Yeah, I think they'd be welcoming you into the club, mate.
So
How
good.
gorgeous is that? I love that. Well done, Chris.
I love in a sport that's just filled with, different types, that the best of the best can be so absolutely in love with the sport and the horse and the people and remain emotionally attached to it. You always have a go at me. It's like, it's about the horse and not the punt. I agree with you completely, but it's also about the people. And Chris Waller is one of the great people in racing.
TJ Smith, famous as the King of Randwick, was once credited with 282 Group 1 wins, but has now been confirmed at 246. Bart Cummings, known as the Cups King, settled his official tally at 246. I'm reading that because Big Beard, you should see him. He's covered in oil and exhaust smoke. He's clambered from under the bus, right? He's got back up at his feet, and he's claiming he was right with 246 each. So it was good news for Chris. He's only going to get 47, right, which he will get.
Let's do this live. Big Beard, type in TJ Smith Group 1 wins and tell me how many answers you get from your Google search. Just while he's doing that,
Yeah.
I reckon having pride of Jenny in any race makes every race better, because you're thinking, is 16 lengths enough at the 1200? And it's just it's you're watching two different races. And then Birdman, out of 10 for the movie, 2014. What do you give it if you're on Rotten Tomatoes?
That was Michael Keaton, wasn't it?
Oh, what do you mean? Was it Michael Keaton? He won every award for it. Ed Norton, Emma Stone, Zach Galifianakis, Naomi Watts. It's one of the great movies.
I don't think he did win every award. I think another movie that was sort of like the storyline of Birdman got best. Did Michael... Here we go. Scrub that about TJ Smith. Can you type in, did Michael Keaton win Best Actor Academy Award for Birdman? It's as simple as that. Hey, you want to know what why Michael Keaton is not his name? Michael Keaton did not win the Best Actor Academy Award for Birdman. I'm climbing out. I'm covered in exhaust. You've thrown me under the bus, and I'm covered in oil. All right? You're having a shocker. All right? Lift.
Like that's an unusual thing. I haven't had a win for 9 years. But
Michael
what
Keaton
I do
is
know
called Michael Keaton because his real name is Michael Douglas.
Michael John Douglas.
Yeah. Now listen, we need some.
For $1 million, what year was he born?
Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton was born in 1955.
Oh, wow, just 4 off. Now, you're 4 off, don't look. Or has he told you?
Well, that'll be 1951 then, I would assume.
Yeah, okay. You don't get the money.
Okay, take me on a journey.
Well, I've sort of lost my form a bit. I was talking about Birdman thing. It was one of the great movies, and you've shot it down. There's a scene in it where they just have the one camera for a long, long time. Anyway, I'm going to move straight on. So we go to last...
What movie is one long shot? Right, there's a famous, they call it Goodfellas has a famous scene. And one of the blokes who appears in the tracking shot, I've had dinner with twice, Michael Francisi.
What, you're saying there's one movie...
One movie that is one continuous shot, a famous one.
What, Russian Ark?
It's about the First World War.
1917?
Well done, tick. Nice. Any danger we can get back to the races last Saturday?
Oh, sorry. For the first time in your life, you want this podcast to be about the races. Wanker. Okay, so last weekend, I'm sitting there in Newcastle with Lexi Boy. We're going down to the farm. We're doing different bits and pieces. And I haven't had a bet all day. There's a drifting favourite at Newcastle, $1.80 out to sort of $4. So that's out. It's done. And there was a horse from 20s into 12s. Another horse, 25s into 11s. I said, Lex, what is your favourite number? And he said, Buh. And the horse's name is Viondi.
In the home running, it is Viondi, the leader, being tackled by Rainbow Charlie. They're well clear of the others. Dubious Express makes ground the outside, but Viondi travelling inside the last 100 metres over Rainbow Charlie in second spot, and then I Am Bub and Dubious Express, and Viondi gets in. Viondi too good.
Nice work, Lexi boy.
So I then take Lexi Boy down to the fishing pier. He wants to catch a fish. And we're sitting there chatting away. And at this point in time, Big Beard knows what is in my account. I take it all out and don't bet again for the rest of the day. But I watch with interest at Randwick, because last week you had a jockey called Sienna Grimer who didn't ride your horse as you would have liked. But I was just looking at race 6, 7 and 8 as we're failing to pull Squid in from the Rye Pier. And the same jockey rode back-to-back winners and rode beautifully and didn't go round a horse. Let's have a look. 6, 7 and 8.
Here's Surf's Up. She's starting to come with a big run, and La Roja going with her. Game on. Right up the inside to Clichy Boulevard. To Clichy Boulevard on the far side. From La Roja and Surf's Up and to Clichy Boulevard. Oh, she lands good bets today. That's a sterling first up win.
Yes, she does land good bets. Beautiful ride. Let's go to the next race on Tazima.
Rodigilla goes up the inside, so does Tazima, and further back to King of the Sea is starting to get into its work now. Stars in their eyes moved up. It takes the lead. Tazima along the rails and King of the Sea with a
not
last
up the
shot.
rail
Here
again.
comes the King of the Sea.
Yes.
Moving up to the inside division. Tazima and King of the Sea, they're wide apart. I think Tazima knows to King of the Sea.
What do you think the aggregate margin of those two wins are?
About a neck. I'll tell you what.
Great. Let's.
If she goes up the rail in race 8,
What will you do? What will you do if she goes up the rail?
in the words of Terry Wallace, I'll spew my guts up. What's the name?
Righto.
What's she riding in the 8th?
God's Window. Let's have a look at what Sienna does here.
Further back to Shadizi. Yeti moves at the 150. Got about a length in front. God's Window up the inside. Ruby Fly. Spione's coming down the outside fence. Ruby Fly goes to Yeti moves. God's Window right up the inside. Lunges. Oh, close. God's Window, Ruby Fly. They're the two.
If she'd ridden Man of Worth like that, it would have won by 25 lengths.
The extraordinary part about that is, and we should post it, race 6, 7 and 8, Sienna Grimer rides all three winners. I think the margin, the biggest margin, was the length of my thumb in all of those three.
Incredible.
And every one of them, she's inside horse on exactly the same part of the track. 1 week earlier, sorry guys, just couldn't seem to get in. Why? Because I'm on Ross's horse. Why? Because Ross is a wanker.
Round it off for us.
Oh, yes. I just want you to look at this horse, Belmont. The jockey is Edgar Zayas. The horse is Glint. I'm going to play this for you a couple of times, and you tell me whether you think it's actually happening.
And
watch the horse in the red cap.
Tis Marcus broke right on top in the green cap, and towards the outside, here comes Screaming Uncle. Unseating the rider there is Glint.
Let me show you again. Now, the good news is both Edgar and Glint are fine, hence we can show this. Have a look again. 10, 15 strides in, horse buckles now.
Gee, where's he? Lucky. That's not Belmont in Western Australia. Is that Belmont Park in New York, is it?
Correct. Now, I just realised as we were doing that, not great for the podcast, but the jockey is riding a horse 3 or 4 off the rail. Horse buckles over and then gets back up, and he gets shot out of a cannon like some sort of a circus act.
Never seen
All
anything
good,
like
though.
it.
No, we have now, thanks to Two Each Way. What a podcast. Emails. We love our emails.
2eachway@tappedmedia.com.au. Jackson. What a weekend for spivs everywhere, he says. Sitting on the throne, seeking refuge from both kids and the wife after a morning's round of golf. He's a good husband, this bloke. Or he goes out and plays 18 holes
I
of
know
golf
the spiv,
and
by
then
the way.
goes home and gets on the dummy.
Do you know the spiv too? Do you remember when we used to do That's Racing? He was my guy. He came up to me in a pub once and said, I want to be your guy. He did not tip a winner for 13 weeks in a row. His nickname is the spiv. Go on.
He says, watching the King's Horse, Gilded Water, bust a valve and ruin my multi for the weekend. And I hear Spiv rounds out the top 3 of betting at Newcastle in the 4th. Fair to say, the Spiv, that is to say him, loaded up on his namesake with not only a few shoes, but the entire Payless enterprise. Spivs rejoice and finds another weekend of fermented regret. Oh, that's nice. A week of fermented regret. That's good.
That's good, isn't it?
Mark says, be better, Ross. He says, g'day, Roscoe. Enough about the Gooners, mate. It's bad enough for you to support the horrible Orcs, let alone the team us diehard West Ham fans used to call Arsenal nil. The poor old Hammers win 3-0 on the last day of the season, attained 39 points only to be relegated. As the old East London lament goes, same old West Ham taking the piss. Oh, well, a season without VAR may bring back some joy back into my life. Oh, they mustn't have VAR. They must only have VAR in Premier Division.
Premier League. Yeah, right.
Be lucky, sir, he says. Mark, if you are hoping that this podcast would go without any Arsenal content, you are going to be very, very gravely disappointed. But I think you will like it. And one of the things I didn't use in Arsenal content, which Mark may like, and I can get it to Big Beard and he can whack it up, notwithstanding it's not in the running sheet. There's footage of Declan Rice, who came to Arsenal from West Ham, watching the West Ham game, and at the point where it becomes apparent that West Ham is going to be relegated, he just kicks the ground and goes, God damn it. It's really cute. Tim, Pete and Diesel, wrote to us last year about seeing Pete and Diesel on New Year's Eve. He says, I'm on track to see Pete and Diesel in Dunoon, unlike another fan who waved the white flag due to some localised Middle Eastern turbulence. No such disruption will derail my Hebridean itinerary. As for the chaff eaters, I'm considering a betting trust. No damage done where I deposit funds and simply await the annual 30% tax bill. I have a ticket to see Pete and Diesel in Pitlochry, just north of Edinburgh, on June the 28th of this year. It's a good ticket. If there is anyone listening to this podcast who can, to our satisfaction, prove that they will be near Edinburgh or in Edinburgh on June the 28th, who has an interest in seeing the great Hebridean punk folk band Pete and Diesel, you can have my ticket.
Why are you not going?
What did he say? Localised Middle Eastern turbulence. I wasn't sure whether I'd booked my flight, but I've cancelled and got a refund. I'll see Pete and Diesel on another occasion. But if you can prove and you want the ticket, you can have my ticket. What's your number? This started off the back of how many unread emails, text messages and message banks Hamish has unattended to. What's your number?
Just go back one step. I love Mark's sign-off, be lucky, sir, which also is not unlike our man who signs off his emails, track fast, weather fine. Be lucky, sir, is a good way to sign off. My number, I have 3 of them. If you can piece these together, you're a clever man. 6, 120 and 98,000. The number 6 on the back of...
Is that Scott Pendlebury? No.
Neale...
Oh, Neale Daniher, of course.
So number 6, the great man. He's already raised 120 million.
Yep.
So that's some sort of an effort. The 98,000 is what I think may roll up in a fortnight's time to the MCG to watch King's birthday.
Yeah.
Now, the record for a home and away crowd is 99 and change. Is there any chance they break it?
There's got to be some hope, doesn't there?
Some hope. Yeah. 90,000 Scott Pendlebury, Collingwood, West Coast.
Well, it's hard to get there because
Collingwood and Melbourne.
Oh, you remember your brother telling me that in 2008 grand final, they announced the crowd, and the crowd was something like 100,003 people. And I was informed that the way they got over 100,000 is when it became clear that they were close, they went and rounded up every soldier, every kid who'd been there as part of a pre-game and halftime entertainment. They got Katy Perry, they made her go back out, and they run them all through the turnstiles, and that's how they got over 100,000. My number is 11.8 million, because that's currently how much I have as a result of starting with $1 million bet 4 weeks ago. I said Sydney had no hope against the Cats, and I backed the Cats, and I now have 11.8 million. And in betting like the Watsons, I can give you an advance notice. I'm going to have all 11.8 million on something on the weekend. Would you rather you and your son provide me with options?
So what did you went against the Hawks, Cats. Are they the 3 wins?
I think
so. Was there another one?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, Freo, Melbourne, and then I'm back to Geelong to beat whoever, the Swans, and then I'll have a look. I'll have all 11.8 million on something this weekend. Okay, what do you got?
Things are going equally as well in your personal account as to the fictitious two-way account. Would you rather? So there's two coaches that have been let go recently. Lex would like to know, would you rather be offered the Carlton job or the Essendon job on the same money?
Good on you, Lexi. I think I'd rather take the Carlton job because it's easier to get to the ground and their jumper's nicer.
They are the exact
had to drive
two
out
reasons.
to Tullamarine every day. No, thanks.
Tick. They're the exact reasons Sophie and I settled on the Blues. Location and strip.
Wow. There you go.
Exactly the same too. Okay. So on the basis that you find the thought of coaching an AFL team as horrible as I do, given the scrutiny, would you rather be an AFL coach or Prime Minister of Australia?
Oh, I think I'd rather be Prime Minister of Australia, I reckon. Gee, we should do two each way, brought to you by the federal government. Sponsor this podcast and we'll change one law that you want changed. Imagine if you could sell that, right? To the highest bidder. Well, it's sort of the way it works anyway. You'd have some fun. Change a few laws, you know.
Okay.
I'm stealing this from Paul Hogan. But I promise that if you vote for me and elect me as Prime Minister, I will pay a place dividend to Forth.
You got my vote.
Right, I'm elected, right?
100% you're elected.
Next.
100% you're elected. So on the basis that you don't want to be an AFL coach and rather be Prime Minister, would you rather be an AFL coach, and this comes from Miller, my 14-year-old, or Britney Spears' wellness coach?
Yeah. Well, you've only got to deal. If you're an AFL coach, you've got to deal with 42 Britney Spearses. If you're Britney
plus
Spears,
the coteries, plus the sponsors, plus the board.
No, if you're Britney Spears' wellness coach, you only got to deal with one. You only got one client. That'll do me.
Yeah, I'm with you. Would you rather, on the back of Chris Waller's brilliance, be the trainer of 200 Group 1 winners, which is, depending on which Wikipedia page you look at, not far off TJ and Bart, and just a third man to do it, or coach 6 AFL flags? Because I reckon that's about the equivalent.
Well, no disrespect to you, Chris, because you know we love you. But I'm tipping there is not one single AFL coach whose alarm goes off at 2:59 a.m. Right? I reckon
No, they're already up.
They'll be in the Royce Hart sack at 8 o'clock every morning, right? They'll be kicking the doona off about 8:05. So no disrespect, Chris, but I'll take the 6 flags.
I reckon every AFL coach is staring at the ceiling at about 3:15, regardless of where they are on the ladder. Everyone's up together. Okay, this is a supplementary would you rather from Lex. I came home and I just had a sauna, and he said, "Are they good for you?" I said, "I think so." He said, "All right, here's one for Ross. Would you rather have a sauna at 50 degrees for an hour or an ice bath at 2 degrees for 6 minutes?"
I'll take the sauna any day of the week. I have a child who has cold showers. Well, I walk into the shower and it's the tap's bent round there. Like he's had a cold shower. Like, do you remember? Are you old enough? Do you remember when we had the 2 emergencies years ago? I think Jeff Kennett was the premier, where there was the explosion at Esso and then there was the frozen pipes of somewhere else, where we only had cold water, right? And all of Melbourne had to get up in the morning and have a cold shower if you wanted, if you could bear it. No, I'll take the sauna any day of the week. And especially given that the sauna, I assume, search this. I assume the sauna originates in Scandinavia, and as we know, everything they do is the right way of doing things. And they're the happiest people on earth, so I'll go the sauna.
Can I just ask you this? Is the shower that your child is in, has it got 2 taps or 1 tap?
1.
I was thinking it could be laziness, given I know your children, and he just couldn't be bothered turning on 2 taps, so he just goes the cold one because it's closest to him, which he has to reach less for. But if it's one of those that has an option, it's just a drift.
Back to where you
he
were.
Is lazy.
The word sauna is ancient Finnish. There you go. So we're saying it is Scandinavia. Now, can you Google something for me? Is Finland part of Scandinavia? Do I have some sort of vague memory that maybe Finland is not in Scandinavia? This is good. This is about racing, this show. What are you going with? I'm going it's not part of Scandinavia. What's he going with? What are you going? Part of Scandinavia or not part of Scandinavia?
Not.
Not, okay. Finland is not geographically or linguistically considered part of Scandinavia, which is made up of Norway, Sweden and Denmark. Finland. I know how close you were with Neale Daniher, and, you will be deeply saddened by that. Tell us, well, can I tell you quickly when I first knew of the existence of Neale Daniher? I was at college at Melbourne University. I was resident for 2 years at St Hilda's College, and college footy took part every winter, and it was great fun, and everyone enjoyed it a lot. And I remember we played a game one day and we went to check on how the other games went. And Trinity College, I'm making up who the opponent was, Trinity College had played Newman College, which is the Catholic college. I said, what happened with to Trinity Newman? And they said, Newman bolted him. I said, seriously, Newman did? He goes, yeah, some bloke kicked 14 from centre-half forward. That was Neale Daniher.
Oh, what a legend. What a legend. I knew of Neale bits and pieces through working for ESP in sports management and being around a bit. But then when I got into the media in 2008, he was sort of largely gone. He was an assistant. So I only really picked up on Neale in 2013 when a mate of mine's wife, Ange Cunningham, was diagnosed, and he was diagnosed at a similar time. She died in 2015. Neale died on Monday, 13 years later, which is just extraordinary. But he taught us all so much. The one thing that I was thinking about when I was reflecting on this week, when my kids are having an argument, I would say to them, do you have MND? They said, no. What would Neale do? And they would just shut up. He was a great teacher, but he taught us all how to live a life of purpose and a positive one. But the one thing that I was thinking, I'm not sure I could transform personal suffering into national hope like he was able to do. So he's a better man than all of us. I asked him last year via text, I said, I'd love to do an unfiltered with you. Just texted him, and he used his eye gaze machine to see numbers or letters and type back. And he said, it'll be a quiet episode. I said, no, I've got a plan. I'm going to ask you questions over sort of 5 months or so, and you can then just answer back, and I'll turn your answers into AI. He said, okay. He said, how long is it going to go for? I said, you ask for as many as you like and then just tell me to get effed. Anyway, we did it back and forth for about 5 months. He said, how many have we got left? I could tell he was getting tired. I said, however many you want. He said, I reckon I've got 3 or 4 left, and then you can go and get effed. He gave me 3 or 4 more, and we turned it into an episode which is going to be on Channel 7 tomorrow night. He was just a superhuman. He was incredible.
Channel 7
incredible.
Thursday night. Okay, excellent. What do you got for us?
This is Neale, and his pre-game speech to Melbourne 2 years after diagnosis.
Too late for me.
It's a thing he said that I'd never heard before. It's a cliche, but he said, when all's said and done, more is said than done. That's great, Hame. All right. Who am I going to upset here?
Arsenal. Arsenal are champions.
Here we go. Mark. Right, who says be better, Ross. Here we go, Mark. The Gunners played their last game of the year, having already secured the EPL Championship. They played at Selhurst Park. They played Crystal Palace. They won. Man City, elsewhere, lost. So Arsenal end up winning the championship by 7 points. Here is the crowning of Arsenal as champions.
Huge moment this for Arsenal Football Club. First Premier League title in 22 years. The trophy is about to be raised. Everyone is ready and waiting, including the fans. Carefully does it. Martin Odegaard will go and celebrate with the players, with all the backroom staff. What a moment this is. Arsenal, the Premier League champions.
There you go, Mark.
There you go, Mark. Be better.
Something my oldest boy, Joe, brought this to my attention yesterday. I didn't know this had happened. Towards the end of the season, Arsenal got beaten by Man City. There were only 2 teams in it, so that was a dreadful, dreadful result. I want you to look closely. This is a Declan Rice, who we got from West Ham, Mark. This is after the game. They're shattered. They've been beaten by Man City. Have a look what they caught Declan Rice mouthing to his teammates.
It's not done. Talking to his teammates. Ødegaard himself, in fact.
You can see him mouthing, "It's not done. It's not done." So then, after they won at Selhurst Park, the Arsenal fans had something to say. They're singing Declan Rice, he said it's not done. How good are they?
God, they're good, aren't they? They are so good, so creative, and so immediate. It takes a week or two to... Oh, there you go.
That's Sophie, it doesn't count.
Only takes a week or two, and they're all over things.
I've found one. I clearly, given the email on the subject of Pete and Diesel, I've found this one previously. But just to remind you, and a reminder that if you can prove that you're going to be in Scotland on the 28th of June, you can have my ticket to go and see this band. Are we going to play it here, Big Beard? Pete and Diesel, P-E-A-T, which is a very, very clever title because it indicates Pete and Diesel, old fuel, new fuel. It's sort of what their music is about.
I said the dog is on the window, the cat is on the floor, everyone is having a party on the moor. They're up all night until the feet get wet. Wake up in the morning and their head is in a mess. And that's the way we do it, the way we do it in the Western Isles. And that's the way we do it, the way we do it.
Because they are not Scottish. They are about the Western Isles of Scotland, which is a population of 27,000. So anyway, that ducat's available if you can prove it. What have you found?
It's a good question. What have I found? I haven't found much this week. I was looking at betting like the Watsons. Where are we? Somewhere? Oh, yeah. No, I've found nothing.
That's okay.
Have I found anything, Big Ben?
Has he found anything? No, he's found nothing.
No. I found nothing.
Yeah. So we believe in the...
I've just looked at my sheet. It says I've found one. It's completely blank. So
yeah, that's okay. You found nothing. We believe in the premise that horse racing is never boring, so each week we find someone interesting in and around and adjacent to racing. This week's interesting person, 13-year-old Henry, that Hame brought up on stage in 2025 whilst hosting the Magic Millions.
I'm hosting the Magic Millions barrier draw, and we're just waiting for a couple of minutes. A producer mate of mine says my son is obsessed by horse racing. So I said, bring him up here. Henry walks up. I say to Henry, what do you like? He said, lot 750. I said, why do you like it? He said, well, it's by Stay Inside, who I like. It's got classic legend blood. I love greys. I think we should get involved. And I said, go and get interest-free loan from Jerry Harvey and bid up hard. So he goes to the sales and bids, and he gets a little syndicate together. They get outbid by Gay Waterhouse. He then rings his uncle, who's got a few shackles, and says, you should buy in. The uncle rings Gay Waterhouse and says, I'd like to buy in. Gay Waterhouse says it's a women's only syndicate because there's a women in racing syndicate, extra $500,000 up on the Magic Millions. So he runs out of money as a 13-year-old. His uncle gets knocked back by Gay. Fast forward 6 months, and Henry Gray's horse that he wanted to buy runs at Warwick Farm, race 2, called Our Emperor.
Now Emperor in front, travelling well, beat off Iomi by 2. Further back then to the Autumn Choice. They're all struggling here. Our Emperor goes further in front inside the 200 metres by 3. 4 lengths on Iomi. Exit Clause is going to third, but this is a nice old caning on debut. Our Emperor was very well schooled for the day and has won it by 3.
Might have a bit of ability, Hame.
So it's now going to all the good 3-year-old races. Henry has left school in year 10 and become a bloodstock agent. And, that's how people get into racing. They just get asked up on stage as a 13-year-old on the Gold Coast and their life changes.
That is superb. Righto. How much have you got? You got nothing, haven't you? You've torched a lot, haven't you? And bet like the
No, last week, remember last week I said Sydney were a chance and you said you're having 7 million on Geelong. I had all mine on
Oh, you had it all on
The
Sydney.
team that got beat.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have turned $1 million into 11.8 million. Right. I'm going to have all 11.8 million on Geelong at $1.30 to beat Carlton, which will turn my 11.8 million into 50. There is no doubt that when I address you in a week's time, I will be in possession of $15.34 million.
And will that change your life?
An imaginary $15 million?
Yeah.
Well,
it would make me feel better, even imaginary.
Yeah. Well,
much better.
That's what you do. As a child, you have an imaginary friend. As an adult, you have an imaginary 15.34 million.
And both make you feel better.
Yeah, exactly. I do feel better having an imaginary $15.34 million. I do.
100. I had a conversation with an AI girl the other day, and I felt great.
I'm going to keep having the lot on something every week until we get a sponsor. In fact, if you become a full-time sponsor of Two Each Way, I will give you my imaginary $15.34 million. You can have it. And I'll hand it over in a ceremony. There you go. What are you having $1 million on?
Well, I've got two kids. They both won the school cross country the other day, old T-Locks. Would you rather T-Lex and Indy? They're going to the districts, I think it's called. I look at my bookmaker's offerings, and it's $1.80, both run in the top four. Same game multi. I have $1 million. I'm going to have $1 million. They both run top four at the districts. I'll let you know how they go.
The multi-listener multi. Email us now, twoeachway@taptomedia.com.au to register for next week's multi. Follow Two Each Way wherever you get your podcasts. Email twoeachway@taptomedia.com.au and follow us on Instagram. Just search Two Each Way. Whatever your two is, enjoy.
Whatever your two is, enjoy.